Hello, my name is Kelley Duren-Jones, and I am a virtual business support specialist, author, owner, and creator at Virtuous Admin Solutions. Today is day 16 of our 21 Days to Intentional Balance Challenge. Welcome. Today we're talking about having faith over fear. And our scripture is found in 2 Timothy 1 and 7. And it says, "For God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and a strong mind." For so let me read that again. "For God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and love and a strong mind." So you may ask, with everything that's going on in the world, how can I possibly not feel fear or be afraid or discouraged? There's a pandemic going on, people are dying, people are losing their jobs, people are getting sick. Um, I can't be around my loved ones, I can't travel, I don't get a break, I'm in the house with these kids all day. How can I not fear? Well, he didn't say that you wouldn't be afraid. He said that he has not given us the spirit of fear. It's a natural human thing to have fear sometimes, but it's not a natural human thing that we have to stay and live and dwell and soak in fear. So there's different types of fear. There's the fear of God. They talk about that in the Bible. And that fear is not the trembling fear that we think about when we think about fear. It's having respect and admiration or being in awe of his power and love. The definition of fear is an unpleasant emotion or thought that you have when you're frightened or worried by something dangerous, painful, or bad that's happening or that could happen. That's the dictionary definition of fear. So let's take a moment and think about what our definition of fear is. When you think about your greatest fear, not something like, oh, I'm afraid of dogs or snakes, not that kind of fear, but the fear that could be prolonging you or preventing you from getting from from here to where you need to be in your goals, your purpose. What's that one thing? Well, name one thing because there could be a few, but name one thing that could be preventing you from moving forward. Think about it. I'll give you a minute. No, really think about it. So, one thing that I can say for me, if I thought of one thing that I could say that was hindering me, that I still work on, is I would talk about the fear of being seen and heard. Never wanted to be in front of anyone's camera, not for a photo, not for a video. Please don't give me a microphone or tell me to say something, even in a small setting with friends and family. I'm never the one that's going to have something to say, a story to tell, or sometimes even a response to what you're saying. I just smile and say, "Oh, okay," laugh or whatever. But I've never been that one that's in front of the crowd, small or large. So there's different kinds of fear, different areas of fear. Procrastination. Sometimes we think, "Oh, I'm just always waiting and I'm not really scared to do it, but I'm just, not ready yet." Is it because of fear? Most of the time, procrastination is fear. Fear of starting something. Fear of, if I start this, will I fail? If I start this, will I succeed? If I start this business and it kicks off, what do I do next? So I'm just not going to do it right now, right? And then there's the person that wants to follow all the rules, obsessed with making the right decision. Sometimes we have to step out on faith. Do your research. Don't just jump into something, but do your research and just try it. If it doesn't work or if you fail, try something else. Have a plan B. The whole point is to plan and to take action. Because you can make a lot of plans, but if you're not acting on them, then what's the point? I would go to conference after conference, have notebooks of notes, And then when I come back from the conference, oh, that was great. I feel great. I feel motivated. But then I put the notebook in the pile with the other notebooks. If you're not acting on it, or is that because of fear? And then, there's the people pleaser. What if they don't like me? What if I disappoint someone? What if I disappoint myself? A lot of times that's paired with not being able to say no. So you're just saying yes to please others. So you won't be rejected. And it's not really about saying no, it's really about how you say no. I've learned to say no with a smile. You coming tomorrow? No. You have something else to do? Mm-mm. And then sometimes we have fear out of ignorance. If I do this, I don't know what's going to happen. We haven't done our research. We haven't prayed about it. We don't have any direction. Maybe we need to increase our knowledge. And that could just be reading a book, listening to a podcast, searching Google, investing in ourselves. It's important to be able to invest in ourselves. We invest in a lot of things. Most of us have that thing that we'll spend money on. I'll spend money on a nice bag or a nice piece of jewelry. Some people have a room full of shoes. Some people, it's the wheels, sounds, cars. Learn to invest in yourself, and that'll help you remove some of the doubt and fear you have of moving forward. And the next thing is doubt. We've read that, God is a healer. Yeah, we know God heals people, but I don't know because this test says I'm at whatever stage, or it says I need to do this. The doctor said this. Or maybe you've been told you can't do this or that. You're not smart enough. You're not old enough. You're not the right color. You're not from the right area. Sometimes we put fear in our children, telling them, oh, there's no black veterinarians. Be a baby doctor. Oh, you're too tall to do this. You're too short to play basketball. Fear also affects your health. It's linked to headaches, stress, heart issues, diet, how you eat too much, eat too little because you're stressed, how you function at work or in your business, how you function in your relationships. So the lack of confidence oftentimes comes from measuring ourselves to someone else. Oh, they've always been smart, so that's why they're able to start a business. Oh, she comes from money, so she's able to do such and such. Maybe stop comparing yourself. Oh, she speaks well, so yeah, she can be on the camera. I've never been able to speak well. So how do we get rid of fear? What should we do? I was listening to Dr. Charles Stanley. He's a pastor on YouTube, and he gave three things. First thing he said was to acknowledge the fear. So earlier I said, what's the fear that, could be holding you back? So we acknowledged it, right? If you didn't then, do it now. Acknowledge the fear. My fear was being heard and seen. The second thing is to figure out where that fear came from. Normally something happened. Somebody told you something. Maybe you were told, that color, you're too dark for that color. So you learn to, you know, have lack of confidence, in which would be fear of maybe doing a certain job or doing a certain thing. When I think about where my fear of being in front of someone or people came from, as a child growing up, I had a really bad stuttering problem. So anytime we were in class, we had to go around the room and read or whatever, I felt like I was being tormented. In church, there's an Easter speech, a Christmas speech, testimony service, children's service, whatever, youth service. I learned to hide behind things. I learned to purposely mess up my clothes, tear something, fall down, literally physically be sick so they can see that I was sick. I learned to hide behind things. I learned that if I played the piano, I wouldn't have to do the Easter speech. I could just play a song. I didn't have to say anything. I learned that if I made the program booklet, maybe they'll leave me alone and say, just Kelley made the program. She don't have to say a speech. So I learned to hide behind things so that I wouldn't. But what I didn't realize, it was also affecting my self-esteem. People think, oh, you love brown and neutral colors. Yeah, I purposely wore those colors because if I wear yellow, people are orange. People might see me and say, oh, that's a nice shirt. Where you get that shirt? Da, 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 da. And then I have to talk. I don't want to talk. So I'm going to wear something that puts me in the background. So it's those small things that you think don't affect your purpose. So when I wrote my book about finding my purpose and, learning my goals, learning who God is, I wrote the book from my experiences, things that I learned, things that, I've heard from other people and things that I went through. But what I had to learn is, your purpose is not just about you. So sometimes your fear is preventing you from doing the ultimate goal, which is helping someone else. When I started my company, I created this cute little cartoon. Well, I had someone create this cute little cartoon girl. She looks like me. She's not me. One of my mentors said, "Oh, I love her. I love this look." But she said, "But you know what? It's not you. People need to see you. I know you want to write everything on your website, but people need to hear from you. When you write the book, they need to know that this book isn't just about you, that your heart is in to help someone else get from here to here, like you did." So maybe your fear is what's keeping you from your purpose. So today, we're going to address our fears. So the first thing was acknowledging the fear. The second thing was acknowledging figuring out where it came from. And the third thing is changing your focus. First, to focus on God, because He gives us everything that we need. If it's a fear of being healed or staying sick, He talks about that in the Bible. If you need strength, there's that in the Bible. So the first thing is to change your focus, to take your mind off of what I can't do, into what you can do because of the promises of God and because of the strength and the power and the love that He says He gives you. In this scripture, He says that He didn't give us the spirit of fear, but He gave us power, love, and a strong mind, which means when you have fear, a lot of times your decisions are not good. Strong mind. He gives us a strong mind, but with fear, do we have a strong mind? Are we making decisions just out of fear that may not make sense or may not serve us, or most importantly, may not allow us to serve other people? So today we're going to read our scripture, which is 2 Timothy 1:7. We're going to write and acknowledge, not dwell on it, but just acknowledge one fear that may or may not be hindering you from moving forward. We're going to think about what's the root of that fear? Like, where did that fear come from? Maybe something happened, or maybe it's something someone said, or maybe it's something you went through. We're going to write that down. And then we're going to list how we can change our focus. Maybe find a scripture that pertains to your fear. Maybe think about, if we're afraid of starting a new career, how we can update our resume and practice questions in the mirror so we're ready for the interview. Take your focus off the fear and actually act on things that'll help you pull you out of that fear. And then, we always pray, get in the presence of God. So today, as every day, I want you to show up, be intentional, and expect great things. Make it a great day.